But I just completely missed his next idea. It's because I thought I had rook d1, but this is a massive blunder. Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. I played another over the board tournament last night, so I do have 3 more games to review, which will probably be the next 3 videos, including this one. But yeah, in today's game, I played against an old friend of mine, which I think he's beaten me like every time we've played over the board, except for like one blitz game. But he's a very strong player. He's very underrated at the moment. He's like 1650-ish, but I don't know his rating, so I didn't put it in. But when I last played him, he was like 1850, so he's severely underrated at the moment, which is due to him not playing over the board for a while, so he's just a little bit rusty. But obviously, he's still a very strong player, and I got white here, and I played d4. Now, for some reason, his opening style is just like anti-me. I don't know why, but all of his openings are just they just counter my openings. I don't know how he does it, but all of his openings are just like this is my least favorite line in the Jobava. I hate when people play e6 and c5. Of course, I know how to handle it decently. I should have played it like a Benoni. I should play d5 here, but I played it more in Jobava London style, and I played e3. But after bishop e7, which is a little bit passive, but it's also like a principled move, I play knight b5, and my opponent said he missed this move. And the reason that this move seems so good is because now I'm coming into knight d6 or knight to c7, winning the rook. And the reason why knight to d6 is so strong is because my bishop is going to replace my knight there and prevent black from castling, albeit it won't be for a very long time. And you'll see why. So obviously the move here is knight to a6, and I play knight d6 check, just very obvious. Bishop takes and bishop takes. And here I'm just like, okay, he can't castle for a little bit, maybe I can finally develop a little bit, but my opponent plays queen b6, which is a really good move. I somehow find the best move here. There's a lot of calculations I did, but yeah, I found the best move, which is d takes e5. And the reason this is the best is because it opens up my queen to the bishop, adding another defense, and opening up the center seems a bit counterintuitive here, but I am preventing black from castling. But yeah, anyways, d takes c5, knight takes c5, and this was a really difficult position for me to figure out, but ultimately I came upon the conclusion that I should just trade everything and go to an endgame, which is the wrong conclusion. It's an equal endgame, but the computer prefers black, and it was a complicated endgame as well. Obviously, now looking at it again, queen d4 is really good. It defends this pawn, and also you're like just threatening the knight, and also they can't remove your bishop now, which is just really nice. Obviously, the computer finds knight ce4, which is just okay. His c4 takes, and then like I don't know, bishop back here. This is what I would play. This is an amazing position because black can't castle still, and you're about to long castle, and your position is great. You have little pawns, blah blah blah. Yeah, I traded everything, which is the wrong move, and then c3. This position is equal, but computers does prefer black, very slightly. Castles, and now I just need to develop and get castled myself. The idea of rook e8, by the way, is pretty obvious, by the way, which is why computer wants knight to e5, is to prevent this very next move, e5. Now here, I played this move way too quickly. I was like, okay, I gotta stop the fork, so I moved my bishop back to c2, right? But I just completely missed his next idea. I just completely missed it. So after bishop c2, the entire reason I should have gone to e2 is because of this. And I'm just like, oh no. Because he basically has an unstoppable threat of e4. Of course, I have to play h3. That's only move. And here, I thought I was being clever. and I played bishop to b3. Now, e4 doesn't work, and it actually gives me a better position if he plays d5, and the reason why is because I have queen d4. He can't take my knight with the pawn because I would take the queen, and if queen takes, then knight takes, and this is a backwards pawn. I can basically just target for the rest of the game, and my position is much, much better here. So obviously he didn't do that. Very strong player here. Computer finds some crazy idea with queen c8, g4, knight takes, and that's a really strong idea. So after here, he moves his queen away from my vision of the queen from that square. And then now I'm forced to play g4, which is best, and this position's equal, very equal now. So I just follow up, very logical, play knight to h4, and he plays rook t8. Very strong position for black, but I am holding defensively. Obviously it's not a very fun position, but I followed up in the correct way and played queen e2. And after d4, which is a little bit hasty, I play rook f to d1. And the reason I'm not worried about taking any of these pawns is because I thought I had the nice idea of queen to c4, targeting that pawn, and also that would fork if he takes on c3, which is what happened. So I take on d8 first, takes, and now I play queen c4. Computer finds c takes b2, which whatever. But my opponent plays queen to d5 here. Now, before he played this move, I'm like, he can't go queen d5. And the reason I thought he couldn't go queen d5 is because I thought I had rook d1. But this is a massive blunder because of queen takes d1, bishop takes, rook takes, king up, and c takes b2. And I can't stop the pawn. I just simply can't stop it because, for example, if I just attack the rook, he promotes. And now it's defended, and I lose. So, yeah, that fails. I like recalculated that like 4 times, trying to find some way to save myself, but it's too forcing because it's basically checks the entire time. So queen d5 is still equal. It causes a miss, but it's still equal for both sides. So I take the pawn. I thought this was clever. Obviously, it's not the best move because there's queen c7, putting pressure on essentially everything in the black position. But I didn't find it because I was just scared of the c pawn. I mean, it's going to take on b2. It's going to hit your rook with tempo. It just seems like you have to stop it. So that's why I took. And I saw queen f3, and I'm just like, okay, I can take and go queen to f4. But for some reason, I also had like a mini blind spot here. It's still equal, but I just didn't even think about queen takes g4. For some reason, I thought that he would just do knight takes, and we would, I don't know, something would happen. But this is still equal, and I play king up, trying to go to attack the knight. Yeah, rook c1 here. By the way, he doesn't take. I actually forget why he doesn't take, but there was a reason in the game why he couldn't take on b2. Knight takes f2, obviously. By the way, if he takes with a rook here, he's actually losing. That's kind of funny, but he's losing because I fork his pieces. There's always like this weird coordination with knights and rooks that is almost like unfavorable. It's like very tricky to coordinate your rooks and knight. Yeah. Anyways, continuing on. Knight takes f2, and I give a check here, which is just bad. But honestly, it led to some complications later on, so it's not that terrible. But computer hates it. It's -2 now. I'm losing. I threw away the equal in game with giving that check. And I played king f3 because I didn't want to get discovered check, even though there's no good discovery, and I should obviously just take on f7. F5 is honestly a weird move, and the reason why it's a weird move is because I thought I should go here. Like my first idea was here. I was holding the rook and I hovered it over the square, but I thought knight e4 was strong, and it is. So I obviously I was holding the rook, so I had to move it somewhere. So instead of going there, I went rook to c1, which threatens mate. That's in my entire idea. Threatens mate. So my opponent went g5 here, and I threatened mate again with bishop to f7. Obviously here he sees that I'm threatening me. I mean, it's so obvious that I'm trying to checkmate you. So he goes g6, opening up the g7 square for his king, and I play rook back to c7, maybe threatening some discovered check. So he goes king to h6, and I go bishop to g8, threatening checkmate again. My opponent has to stay on his toes here, but it's very low time for both of us now, so it's turning more into a bliss game at the moment. But unfortunately, the entire reason why king to f3 is a mistake is because in this position, my opponent has g4, check. It's check, and it's so sad. Of course, again, I'm threatening mate. I'm threatening mate here. But unfortunately, my opponent has knight d3 check and forces my king away from the protection of the square. So I go back, and my opponent actually repeats one time, so I repeat. But then, yeah, rook e2, attacking the pawn, very good move. And I just take a pawn because I don't want him to take my b pawn. So maybe I have some chances, like maybe. But I mean, obviously I don't have a chance. So he takes, which is just rough. And then I play king back g2, forced, basically. And he plays king g5, like just getting out of any threats ever. And I play bishop to c4 here. And the reason why is because I actually want to protect the e2 square. He can't take this, by the way, because it's protected. So he goes knight to f4 check. I play king to f2. And I get checked again on the square, and I went down to e1, which is a mistake in retrospect, but I had like 10 seconds in this position. But yeah, I'd go back to g1 because of g3. And that's just a rough move to see because you have 10 seconds on your clock and you have to find some sort of defense. There is no defense here, by the way. So I ran out of time because I was trying to find something miraculous and there just is nothing here. But yeah, that was the game. I wasn't too angry since I know he's a great player and he's a buddy of mine. So it was all good fun, even though I lost 2 rating this tournament, by the way, which is so sad because I won my other 2 games. Yeah, accuracies, I had an 80% accuracy and my opponent had an 88.9% accuracy. Very high level game by us. I had an estimated rating of 1800 and my opponent had an estimated rating of 2100. So a very strong game by both of us. Obviously he outplayed me and I should not play that in Jabavland style. I should definitely switch to what's it called? Benoni style. I should definitely switch to Benoni style against this setup and play d5. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.